everyone, and welcome back to our channel. And today in this video I'm in my craft room because I've started another quilt. Now those of you that have watched my channel know that I was working on some other quilts, and you're probably saying, have you already finished the other quilts? To be honest, no, I haven't. But I'm one of them kind of people who like to do a bunch of crafts go on at the same time because I get bored very easily, especially with quilts. I get very bored making quilts. So I'll work on one till I get bored with it. Then I put it aside and I go on to the next project. So I actually found a quilting pattern on TikTok that I thought was fabulous. It's very easy and simple, but the block comes out looking like you really had a lot of elaborate work in it. And that's what I want to show you tonight, is this particular quilt block. So let me show you the equipment that you'll need to make this quilt. And they call this the exploding square. I think that's what they said. It's called exploding square. Now here's the tool, some of the tools that you'll need. If you have a big table and you can get a piece of cardboard, or those of you that quilt have a cutting mat, that works. I don't have a kitchen table big enough. But I bought this little mat at the Dollar Tree, and since these are very small squares, this thing works perfectly. And you'll need a cutting mat. You'll also need a pair of good dressmaking shears, really sharp. And if you can find some that's got a point, that would be better. These are the ones that I use. I didn't have a point. You'll need your sewing machine. You'll need some kind of a ruler. I also found this ruler at the Dollar Tree, and it's fantastic because it's clear and you can see through it. It has centimeters on one side and then the inches on the other, and this part in the middle is magnified. But you're going to need some kind of a ruler. And if you get one of these, this is called a rotary cutter. Now you don't necessarily have to have this to do it. It just makes it easy if you're a quilter and you cut out a lot of blocks. If you have one of these, you certainly don't have to have one of these. You could do it without it. My mother quilted for many, many years, and she never had one of these. My grandmother quilted, and she never had one of these, and they managed to get along. But these certainly make it easier for cutting out this particular pattern. And then you'll need a square. Now, I got this at Walmart, and they have several different sizes of them. These things are very expensive. I bought the smallest one they had, and this is the size that I'm using. And then I made another template to go with it, and I'll explain to you how these two work together. And then you're going to need 3 pieces of fabric. And the amount of fabric you get depends on how big you want your quilt to be. And you can get them in any color. I chose to get mine in shades of blue. 3 different ones. I got this sparkly blue one. I got this bandana looking blue one. And then I got one that's kind of got little blue flowers on it. You're going to need 3 different types. They can be in the same shade. They can be totally different, like red, white, and blue. They can be green and red and orange. They can be your favorite colors. They can be your children's favorite colors. Whatever you want. And then you're going to cut out these 3 pieces right here. Let me show you if I can get them together. Okay, I've got these out to show you how you put it together. The first thing you're going to do is cut your squares out from your 3 pieces of fabric. 2 of the colors, you're going to cut them out the exact same size. And I used this right here for my first ones. And you just lay it down on the mat, take that rotary cutter, and cut out 2 of this size. Then the third block that you use will depend on what size you make these. And you can do these any size. You can make these bigger if you want to make a quilt that goes faster, make bigger blocks. You know, you can, like I said, they sell these in several different sizes at Walmart. You could get a bigger size and make your blocks bigger to start. But you need two pieces cut out the same size. And then you'll need a third piece cut out bigger than this. And I'll show you how you arrive at that. The first thing you're going to do is take your two smaller pieces and you're going to put them together, right sides facing one another. And you're going to match them up. And if you cut them out together on the block with your rotary cutter, they'll match up perfectly. Then you're going to sew them on the outside edge, just like this. And I try to use as small a seam as I can without running off the edge of the material. Now, if you get it sewed together, you'll have a block just like this that's stitched all the way around. Then you're going to go and you're going to cut across your corners just that little bitty tiny piece of fabric off the corner. Don't cut down into your thread. Just cut the little corners off. So it looks just like this. Now you'll have a little piece of fabric sewed all the way around with the corners cut off. Then you're going to take your ruler and you're going to put it together corner to corner just like this and make a line on both corners from side to side so that you have a little mark. Let me show you on one that's easier to see. You'll have a square mark just like this. This one I haven't cut the corners off on this, but I wanted to show you on a lighter fabric where you could see. Then you're going to take your fabric, you're going to pull it apart like this, and you're going to take your scissors and you're going to make a little snip down that line. Don't cut through the material on the bottom. You're just going to snip through the top. Let me see if I can put this up here where you can see it. Just like that. You're going to make a little snip. Then your scissors will go in here and you're going to cut from one side all the way across on each one of these lines. Just like this. When you get that done, you're going to have a piece that looks like this. This is your base that you started with. Then you need to iron it. Take it over to your ironing board and iron it. Now this size right here is what you're going to make your second template with. And what I did, I went to the Dollar Tree and I got that flexible cutting mat or chopping mat or whatever it is. You get two of them in a package at the Dollar Tree. And I laid it down on there. You're going to take your fabric like this and lay it down and make you a template. Or you could just lay this down and trace around it with a pencil. As long as you can make you something big enough, you're going to cut that out like that. And you'll end up with your bigger square. Just like this. See how that matches? And once you got your bigger square made, you're going to take this piece of fabric, right sides. I sewed this one backwards. I'll have to take it apart. Anyway, you're going to take this one. I got in too big of a hurry. You're going to put this together, right sides together again. And you're going to do the same thing on the sewing machine. You're going to sew all the way around the outside edge of this one. Now on the second one, you're going to have a piece that's going to look like this. And you're going to mark it and cut it. But this time, on the other one, it doesn't matter which side you mark it on. This side or this side. But on this one, You don't want to mark it on the side where your patchwork is. You want to mark it on the side where the solid piece of fabric is. Just like this. See how I got my patchwork? Then you mark it on this side. You're going to do the same thing. Pull that apart. Make your little snip in your fabric. Don't cut through the bottom. And when you cut it apart, you're going to end up with a piece that looks just like this. And this is your finished block. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? And it looks like you spent a lot of time making it, but it was really very simple. All you did was sew squares together and cut them apart. Sew squares together and cut them apart. And what I usually do is I make a bunch of them up like this and I mark them. Then I go in the living room and I sit in my recliner and take my scissors and cut them apart. Now, I have yet to put this together because I still have to get some more fabric, but I'm having trouble trying to decide what color of fabric to put it together with. I don't know if because there's supposed to be, there's supposed to be a strip in between, and I don't know if I want to put blue in there or white or black or what color. I Googled what colors go with blue, and they said it didn't help me because they said anything goes with it. First, I was thinking yellow would go, but then when I put some yellow under it and looked at it, it was a little bit kind of drastic. But I'm thinking I might go and get some more shades of blue, maybe a deep darker blue to put in there. And there'll be a strip in between each piece and then one long strip across the bottom when I put the quilt together. So that's how you make an exploding quilt block. Thank you guys for coming to visit with us today. And y'all come back and see us any old time. Bye for this one.